Thank you all for attending our first BBB, Build Back Better Peer Fellowship Project 5 Lunch and Learn. My name is April Jackson. I am the Executive Director of Development for InnovatePGH, Women in Tech Pittsburgh. And I'm so thankful to be here with some colleagues of mine from InnovatePGH. Courtney Sage is our Director of Marketing. She could give a hand wave. And you've been seeing messages and hearing from Allison Falk, who's the founder and Executive Director of InnovatePGH. We're so thankful to have you here. And again, we want to share with you that we are recording this because we would love to keep this information as an evergreen that will land on our site and land on our peer fellowship site. So this information can be disseminated and shared with others who are interested in applying for the peer fellowship, which we will be taking applicants on a rolling basis for the next 4 years. We're very excited about that. So before we start going into our Q&A and answering questions, I would love to introduce everyone who is a part of our fellow program and also allow some of you who are attending to introduce yourselves. So please settle into wherever you are. We want this to be a space that's open and inviting and comfortable for you, which I hope you're able to accomplish being in your own space and then coming together in Zoom. So take a deep breath if you are so inclined to do so. Relax those shoulders, relax those facial muscles, and let's go ahead and list off some introductions. We have different organizations that have come together to work as partners to get this fellow going. So we have Build Back Better, which InnovatePGH is the grant recipient of, and they've kind of spearheaded this partnership with Carnegie Mellon University, the Equity Impact Center, and ourselves with PGH. I'm going to go ahead and pass this baton off to Lindsay Powell, who is representing InnovatePGH.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, April, and everyone. Welcome to this virtual space. As April said, my name is Lindsay Powell. I'm the Director of Workforce Strategies at InnovatePGH, and I have the wonderful honor of working on Build Back Better, our Project 5, expanding pathways to entrepreneurship with these wonderful organizations listed. I'm happy to give a background on Build Back Better, if that's helpful, as well as share a little bit about InnovatePGH's work. But InnovatePGH, we're a smaller not-for-profit that works in Oakland, really trying to expand and diversify the innovation district, which is really between the 5th and Forbes corridor and the Oakland neighborhood. And so we work on a small scale to ensure that the Oakland neighborhood itself is inviting and has physical landing spaces for technology to happen, but as well on a regional level, working with state, local, and federal partners to bring more opportunities in the technology space, particularly for underrepresented technologists to thrive and stay in our local innovation economy. I'd also like to introduce my colleague, Erin Jensen, to talk a little bit about her work and her space in the Build Back Better project.
Hi, everyone. Like Lindsay said, my name is Erin Jensen. I'm also with InnovatePGH. I'm a program manager there. And my work is really focused on Build Back Better, the fellowship, but also a separate program, which is called Training and Market Access for Entrepreneurs, or TMACE, as we call it. And that program is really focused on small businesses that have some sort of good or service that they can offer to robotics, AI, and automation companies. So things like accountants are kind of those in the professional services, web designers, marketing, kind of all those broad spectrum of goods and services that small businesses offer. We're putting that together into a directory that we're sharing with robotics, automation, and AI companies to help them invest their money in local businesses.
Thank you, Erin. Lindsay, did you want to say more about Build Back Better, or I could have everyone introduce some more?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't want to jump ahead. So getting into it, Build Back Better, as we've been alluding to, is a really wonderful investment that the federal government has made into Pittsburgh. We've won overall about $63 million to deploy across the Southwestern PA region over the next 4 years. And so InnovatePGH in the Equity Impact Center, as well as Women in Tech PGH in Carnegie Mellon University, have put together a program we're calling the Peer Fellowship. Peer standing for Promoting Emerging Entrepreneurs in Robotics. What we hope to do with this fellowship is to create an environment that's highly supportive, well-resourced, to allow underrepresented technologists, specifically BIPOC folks who identify as women, and other folks from underrepresented backgrounds to really thrive in the robotics space. Our partnership has created this fellowship that is multidisciplinary. So for those of you saying, well, you know, I'm really strong on this side and maybe not this one, we've created this fellowship so that fellows will have an interdisciplinary experience where you're taking classes at the Robotics Institute at CMU, as well as Tepper, the business school, and Hines, the public policy school. Our goal for those engaged in our program is to create, as I said, a highly supportive space. We're thinking about our fellows holistically and ensuring that they have not just the academics down, the networking and resources that they need, but also we're thinking about the individual as a holistic person. So focusing on self-care, focusing on taking care of your mental and physical health as well is an essential part of this program. The long and short of it, however, it's an academic year-long program where fellows will be able to take classes at a pass-fail level. So no worries about doing homework or anything else. You're really just there to absorb the information and learn. But there'll be courses that you can take during the day and night, as well as a portion of your day will be dedicated to working on your idea. So we really want to create the leisure space and really the leisure space for you to flesh out an idea that you're working on. It's as I said, a year-long fellowship, and we hope to see all of you apply. We're taking applications currently and interviewing fellows. And so as we talk a little bit more about this fellowship through our different partners, we hope to see your name come across our desk as a potential fellow. But I'd love to pass it along to other partners that have been instrumental in creating this fellowship. So I'm happy to stop there and answer any more questions about the fellowship towards the end.
Thank you, Lindsay. As she mentioned, we're focusing on bringing equity in tech, especially in Pittsburgh, and the Equity Impact Center is really a huge part of being sure that this process is equitable and that we are really taking a close look at how we're designing the programming and supporting everyone. So with that, Lee, would you like to come on and share? She's the ED and founder of the Equity Impact Center.
Sure, thanks, April. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to see that there are folks who are interested in this fellowship. As the founder and the president and CEO of the Equity Impact Center, one of the things that we really want to do is ensure that when we're participating in initiatives, that we're thinking about it from the ground level. How are we thinking about equity? How are we thinking about inclusion? How are we building something that's really going to lead to justice for the folks who have been systematically marginalized from opportunity, but from many other things. And so being a part of this Build Back Better project and the peer fellowship, it was also not just something we wanted to participate in, but also a leap of faith, because we wanted to ensure that every step of the way that we think about equity, the way that we think about how it's sewn into the foundation of new initiatives is a little bit different from the way others think about it. It really is something that we are committed to. We challenge ourselves every day. We're constantly holding ourselves and our partners accountable, and being able to join this group who we're all very committed to it. Everyone is learning every day, and the group is very open to that. I've seen the possibility of the peer fellowship being an initiative that is not just equity centered in all of its phases, design, development, implementation, and evaluation, but also an initiative that can really be a model for others and the way that other initiatives are designed. And the other part of it is I've been an entrepreneur for about 13 years. I have a few businesses and a startup company with my husband. And so I also understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And so I wanted to build something that will leave everyone who comes into this program better off than they came into it. You know, Peer has to be able to offer not just academic courses, but real entrepreneurial curriculum, build your acumen within entrepreneurship, connect folks with the right people, ensuring that they have access to networks that they may not have access to. I'm a strong believer that a solid product, but a solid business model will get folks where they need to get. And so I want to ensure that this program is not just a nice to be a part of, but it really advances folks to where they want to be in their careers and advances their businesses and the ideas that they're coming into the program having. I can talk all day about equity. I could talk all day about designing programs, but I won't. But definitely reach out if y'all have questions about our role in the process or how the Equity Impact Center can support your efforts and what you're doing. Thanks, April.
Thank you, Lee. I'm going to also, I told you that I am a part of InnovatePGH. I'm also facilitating the discussion, so I would love to have our founder and executive director, Allison Folk, share with you InnovatePGH's role and mission in the partnership. Allison?
Hi, everyone. I know I'm not on camera. I cannot find the camera button on my Zoom because I'm sharing the screen, so I will figure that out afterwards. But yes, amen to everything that both Lindsay and Lee said. I could not have said it better. I'm so on board and aligned with their visions. I know the rest of what April and Courtney are as well. And so it's such an honor to be here today and be a part of such a meaningful partnership with the Peer Fellowship. WIT, we are driven by a very simple mission, is to foster human-centered workforce development and community for women in tech. And so our approach is a little bit similar and revolves around self-care, connection, and paying that forward. With our involvement in the Peer Fellowship specifically, I view it as a testament to our commitment to reshaping the narrative of women in technology today. And so it's not just about providing skills, it's also about creating an ecosystem, as Lee mentioned, that really empowers the individuals, gives them autonomy, values their unique experiences, and also supports this holistic growth via work-life integration, which our executive development director, April, has been teaching our team a lot about. And so for WIT in particular, we have kind of a two-pronged approach in our partnership. One is where we are supporting the fellows and offering that wraparound support through coaching, wellness, skill building, and another part that extends our reach into the community and hopes to ignite interest and funnel aspiring women into future fellow cohorts.
Thank you, Allison. And last but not least, we wouldn't have the fellow if we did not partner with Carnegie Mellon University. And specifically, you have someone there who will work with the peer fellows. And we're so excited to have Corey Turner. Would you like to say a few words, Corey?
Sure. I'm Corey Turner. I'm the executive director of the Peer Fellowship at Carnegie Mellon University. I think just to share, CMU is very excited about this program. It's the first of its kind in the nation, and we hope that we are building something here that can be replicated in other areas in the future. You know, CMU in robotics was one of the first programs in the country, and so we have a long history of learning about robots. And we're happy to share our experience, our facilities, our resources with the fellows, and create the best possible experience that you could have with us on campus.
Thank you, Corey. And she's doing such a wonderful job of curating this program specific to the peer fellows. So we're very appreciative of her placement here at CMU and with us. So we wanted to just open the floor and get to know those of you who jumped in and, you know, decided to learn some more information about the peer fellows. And, you know, if you'd love to introduce yourself or you just like to introduce yourself, please do. We'd like to meet you and get to know about you. And, you know, no pressure. The space is open. We'll give a few minutes of time for that. Anyone?
Hi, everyone. I'm Molly Crow. I work with Pittsburgh Innovation District, InnovatePGH, and the Oakland Business Improvement District. I've been working a little bit behind the scenes with the amazing people who have put together the peer fellowship, and I've been helping with the marketing and communications of it. So I'm just here to watch in awe the amazement of this program and what it means for these underrepresented technologists across the region. And yeah, just very much looking forward to hearing more today, ladies.
Thank you so much, Molly. Thank you for when she says watching the development of it, it's definitely been a process. So we are so excited to get to this point where, you know, school starts at the end of August and we will have some peer fellows. We're very excited about that. Thank you. Anyone else, would you like to introduce yourself, share, you know, a little bit about you and what brought you in today?
Hi everyone, I am Chaitanya, pronouns he, him, his. Yeah, super excited to be able to join this session. I learned about the peer fellowship program from Lindsay during one of the Pittsburgh lab events, which happened, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And then after the event, I was able to talk to her. She helped me understand about this program and how this can, you know, help aspiring entrepreneurs like me and, you know, other fellows who would be joining this program. So I'm a robotics engineer and have been trying to start something of my own, but it's been a little bit of a struggle to, you know, understand the right idea, get to know the right people, and then when I moved to Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, this was the right place, the right avenue. The ecosystem is awesome, and this hoping to learn about this program, and I've already applied, so hoping to. If selected, hoping to, you know, grow my knowledge from a technical, which I already have from a technical perspective, help into, you know, building the community within the Pittsburgh robotics ecosystem, and see where it takes me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitanya. I'm so happy that you introduced yourself and it's good to see you on camera. It's so nice to meet you. Welcome. Anyone else like to share? I know if you look in the chat, you'll see Monica dropped her introduction there. Thank you so much for that, Monica. And anyone else?
I can go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Maximilian.
Hi. So my name is Maximilian. Pronouns are he, him. Definitely excited about this opportunity because I feel like outside of major technology hubs that like aren't Silicon Valley or like Boston or New York, there isn't really like an ecosystem to help founders formulate something that they want to work on. So super excited that the Peer Fellowship is targeting that. I learned about the program through Corey and Dr. Johnson Robertson, the director of the Robotics Institute. And yeah, just I came today just to hear more about the program.
Thank you.
Super excited.
Thank you. I'm excited too. It's really good to see everyone's face. There's another drop down in the chat. Thank you, Teresa. And it seems like we all kind of have the same mission, right? To support each other and support others in this tech ecosystem, with equity being at the forefront. This is wonderful. All right, we're going to move through because we really wanted this to be open space for discussion. So you are welcome to use the chat. You're welcome to use the symbol and the reaction key. We even take a hand raise. You know, this is a space where we want everyone to just have organic conversation, especially to get some some questions answered that you may have in regards to this program and what you're looking for and what we can offer. And also, you know, we're here to listen and learn as well. So any input, suggestions that any of you may have, we are definitely open to that. So again, if you have a question, please raise your hand, come off mic, or put it in the chat. But I will, you know, start this off is, who is the peer fellowship for? And I think we kind of answered that, but if you want more specifics, like who should apply for this program, who could apply for this program, and what are the like technical requirements of that? Does anyone want to go ahead and answer that? I'm looking at Aaron, Corey, or Lindsay.
I'm happy to answer that.
Thank you, Corey. I didn't want to put anyone on the spot, but I did.
No, it's okay. So I think the answer is the program is really for anyone who has that entrepreneurial spirit. We are targeting underrepresented technologists, but there are many groups that are underrepresented within tech. So we just encourage everyone to apply and go through the process, and we'd love to see if it's a match between what we can offer and the resources that you need to get your business going.
April, I'll add a little bit to that as well. I completely agree with Corey, and just to add that I feel like the peer fellowship is for someone who really wants to dedicate time and space to growing as a founder, but also to growing their business. I really believe in educating yourself along the way, learning what you need to learn to be the kind of founder that you want to be. And I think the peer fellowship offers a great opportunity for someone to develop themselves along with developing a company or a business.
Thank you, Lee. Are there any specific requirements of the person who is looking to apply into the program? Any prerequisites, any requirements that are mandatory?
I don't think they're, oh, go ahead, Lindsay.
Oh, no, please.
I wouldn't say mandatory. I would say maybe preferred to have, an interest in building a tech business in the Southwestern Pennsylvania region would be the biggest preference that we would have. And even if you don't have an idea yet, but you are interested in that entrepreneurial journey, the program could still be for you.
Yeah, I was just going to add more concretely, we are looking for folks that are 18 and older, and folks who have a bachelor's degree or in pursuit of one. These courses are all master's level courses, and so we don't want to preclude anyone, but just want to make sure folks are prepared, for the master's level educational experience. But other than that, like Corey said, all are welcome.
This is a good question that came from our team. What concepts and companies should be applying? And I think we kind of spoke to that a little bit. And also the second part, are there companies in Pittsburgh that they can look up to as an example of what is possible or inspiring?
That's a good question. I don't know, Corey, I saw you come off mute too.
Yeah. I think, anything to do with the robotics and automation field is what we are looking for specifically. And as far as companies to model after, I think the entrepreneurial journey is so individual. So I wouldn't recommend really modeling yourself after someone, but we are happy to sort of play matchmaker in the process. If there's someone that you really admire and want to get to know that you think could help grow your business, we're happy to make introductions and try to, get some face time with that person so you can learn from them.
I do agree with Corey. Part of our framework for strategic design and implementation includes that both visioning and research portion. Who's doing things well? Why are they doing it? What do I like? Why do I like it? So I see that as part of the process. It's not a one size fits all, but it's really finding out why you're attracted to certain things, why certain businesses have become successful, and then, dissecting the reasons why, how they've gotten there. And I see that as part of the process, not to not answer a question, but it's a good question to answer as you're building yourself as an entrepreneur.
Thank you. There's a good question that popped up in the chat. Do you already need to have a company set up to become a fellow?
I would say no. As Corey mentioned, having that entrepreneurial spirit or wanting to be a founder or an entrepreneur, if coming in with an idea, this is a great place to really think through that idea and have folks around that can help you figure out how to bring it to life. But I don't think my opinion. The group can disagree. I don't think you have to have a company established and everyone's agreeing.
And I'll add on a little bit to that as well, although facilitating. But I think we mentioned before, like you could be a roboticist and that can be your strong suit. And so you're going to actually develop the product and create it. And hopefully through this journey, when you audit some classes at the Tepper School, or you meet some entrepreneurs, you might learn the business side of it. You could have an amazing idea on the business side of it and have some other kind of business, or just like, oh, I'm into hair care, but I really think if I had an AI system that could track clients, and I don't know, I'm just pulling stuff out of my head. But if you have an idea and you can come and do that fellow as well, and you could partner and learn the technical side of it. And you can partner with somebody. So we really did want to keep this open so we can create a lot of fluidity, so you can really curate your ideas and bring them to fruition yourself. I know there are companies per se that came out of Pittsburgh, and they're huge. Like Deep Local is a company that's huge now, but the founder came from CMU, and it started off like with himself and a couple of people and has grown. We see Jim with Meter Feeder, and he went to CMU, and if I'm correct, he didn't finish CMU with a degree, and many years later has come upon creating a tech company. And so the journey and the path that anyone takes is so different, and we've been meeting people that have done so many wonderful things. We just want to really create space for everyone to be able to do that. So that brings me to another question. What is Peer doing specifically to center equity?
I can talk first, and I'll try to be quick. Like I said, I could talk about this all day, but when traditionally, which is why the Equity Impact Center exists, when we see DEI or equity initiatives, it's always it's sort of an afterthought. It's something that folks have been trying to do after things have already been built, after companies are running. And the way that we think about equity at the Equity Impact Center is that it really does start at the very beginning. We have to be thinking about, we have to understand the history. So we took some time to do a deeper dive into tech and robotics, especially to really learn what we didn't know about the field, and to really be able to point out the different areas that we need to address specifically in this initiative. The other thing we're thinking about is educating ourselves. How do we continuously learn as a group? How do we come together and build a foundation so we can build an equitable program? And all of that is a process. So I think understanding that it's not about putting it at the end or putting it on the website, but it's about every step that you take, and in every situation, pausing and thinking about what you're trying to address, who the program is for, how our organizations, my organization's run by a Black woman in Pittsburgh. And so I can't participate in something and not feel like it's equitable. And I have to leave better off than I came into it as well. And so how do we build something that centers equity from the very beginning? Very slowly, very intentionally. We educate ourselves, like I said, along the way. And we really just have to make time for constant understanding. We have to move together, I guess I would have to say. I couldn't come into this like, I've been studying this for 20 years and we should do this, this, and this. I'm like, well, what do we need? What does the group need? All of that is part of building something that's equitable, which is the part that folks don't always talk about. They think equity is many things, but it really is about, we say, situational fairness, situational justice, and situational means that we have to consider it at every point in time, at every decision point, at every turn, who we're bringing into things, who we're talking to, how we're speaking to them. And again, just centering the stakeholder always. We at the Equity Impact Center, we say we are who we seek to serve. We are marginalized people in this organization, and so we can't build something that's not good for us and not good for our future generations. And so as we're building something that centers equity, while we all want to be successful entrepreneurs, we have to remember what that looks like, and we have to understand the system as it is and how we're trying to change it. And I'll pause there. I've like 10 other thoughts, but I'm going to stop talking.
Thank you, Lee. And, I would say you mentioned it's starting at the beginning, and that's very important at the inception of something. This past weekend, there was an article in the New York Times. The Detroit police force uses AI technology to find suspects. And a man and a woman were in a car in a parking lot in a liquor store. That's the gist of the story. And, he was paying for services, but got robbed. And so they ran pictures through an AI database and went to a woman's home who was home with her partner and 2 kids and pregnant, 2 weeks from her due date. And they arrested that woman. And she absolutely was not the person at all. And so when we look at robotics, when we look at AI, when we look at all this technology, who's creating it, who designed it, what are the algorithms what is the data that's being put into there? And if we have more people that are representative of the folks even on this phone call, we'll know that there'll be a bigger picture of what is true in reality, and not what we have historically formed. So that's a big push for all of us as partners in this fellowship, is to create space so all of us and all of you can create and model what true entrepreneurial pursuits in AI and robotics should look like, because it's infiltrated every sector of our world. So thank you for those questions, and thank you for that answer, Lee. So, how does this fellowship differ from other, academic fellowships? Like, how does this stand apart? What makes this, so unique?
I can start with a few things. I think one thing that I'm incredibly proud of about this program, not only is it free to participate, we also provide fellows with a stipend. And so when we're talking about ensuring that folks have all of the support and frankly leisure time to work on their idea, it's not just in, theory, it's in practice. We want to make sure that our fellows have all that they need to be successful. So we do offer a living and housing stipend that amounts to about $3,700 a month. So that's, I think, a really important piece of this program that, again, we're very proud of, and I think speaks to our mission of ensuring that we're centering equity and knowing that sometimes our underrepresented technologists aren't able to have some of the same opportunities that other folks have because they're not supported in this way. And so that's a huge, I think, differentiating factor for us that we're proud to share.
Yeah, that's huge. Any other, Corey?
I would add the wraparound support, that we're thinking of the fellows as an entire, your entire being, and not just the part of you that comes to work every day. We all have things that impact us outside of work. And so we're taking that into account as we design the fellowship, and also in the services and support that we offer.
Allison, would you like to share some, little input around what holistic wraparound support could look like?
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with everybody speaking about the uniqueness of this fellowship. I was a fellow in a national cohort that I participated in, and seeing how intentionally we are moving with all of the puzzle pieces that are involved with creating and establishing this fellowship is really exciting to see, because it was absolutely not what I experienced when I went through my own fellowship. This feels very structured, very organized, very intentional. It feels very personal. So whatever you put in, whatever you need, you're going to get out of it. It's not a one size fits all fellowship. And that is what I think is very unique about this. In terms of WIT's involvement, as I said earlier, we are taking a two-pronged approach to what we're doing. So we're involved in kind of creating that exploratory programming with the community for those who may not be ready to step into their entrepreneurial journey through the fellowship, but might be in the next year or so. And then we're also partnering with the lovely folks here to offer some wraparound support services that are related to movement, and making sure, we're doing some desk detox and and not sitting hunched over our computers all day, allowing for that unstructured time that Lindsay said, and really getting together. This might look like, like a curated dinner where we can have talks about ethics and learn from experts in the field who are local to Pittsburgh. And this also will look like, executive coaching and maybe talking about like what's going on personally and how you can move through that so that you can establish that work-life integration, because as we know, like work and personal life and everything else going on is not mutually exclusive. Everything is always happening all of the time. And so we want to make sure that we're supporting you to maintain that balance and find that perfect integration so you are not burning out, you're not feeling overwhelmed, and you're not starting to resent this beautiful idea that you may have brought into the fellowship with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Corey. So with that, what is the commitment and what can a fellow expect? Anyone can jump in.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
No, you're fine. We both jump off at me at the same time. So if I missed anything, but in terms of time commitment, as we've kind of mentioned earlier, a part of this program will be taking courses at CMU. So it's about half the courses that a full-time student would take. It includes as well the programmatic support that we talked about, which will happen perhaps during the day or after hours. So it's, and also the time as well to work on your own program or your own company. Overall, I do think someone who is not working full-time, someone who has the time to dedicate to this is an ideal fellow. But we have been, I think people are able to piece together things that are important to them in their lives. So I don't want to fully dictate, like what specifically does and doesn't work, but in terms of what this necessitates, it's school time, it's after hours times, possibly some of those dinners or programming or networking events that may happen after 5 p.m. But we've built this program and have tried to be, obviously incredibly understanding, and not everything is mandatory. We want this to be really, pick and choose what's important to you and what resonates with you. But I don't know if anyone else from the team wants to give any more concrete ideas of what the time commitment would look like for possible fellows. Yeah, we're asking if there are concerns about if you have the capacity, we'd love to talk individually. I think it is really case by case. Some folks, like to have a lot on their plate. Some folks really need to focus on one. So I don't want to be too prescriptive of what, the time commitment would look like. But if you have questions about your own schedule or what you think you have capacity for, we'd love to chat one-on-one.
And Corey, could you share a little bit on what the fellow can expect, like possibly in, a semester's time or 2 semesters time on a day-to-day?
Absolutely. So as we've talked about the courses a lot and that they will be audited, taken pass fail. Some of those courses are in person, will require attendance. Some of them are on Zoom. And so we're able to sort of pick and choose what would work best for your schedule. We also have a series that takes place every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that's in partnership with Sports Center. That has different entrepreneurs sharing different pieces of their journey. So someone might be talking about, what it's like to go pitch to a VC. Someone, they also have topics like family business. So someone might be sharing, what it's like to create and run a family business. In addition to that, we're able to offer mentorship with our faculty and also people outside. So that part will depend on what you are looking for, really. But we're able to sort of create those spaces. If you come in without an idea and are looking to maybe spend some time in an early company, in the second semester, we're happy to try to facilitate that with a local robotics company. We'll try to do some matchmaking on a project of mutual interest so that you get that experience of what it's like to be at an early stage company.
Thank you. Please, the floor is open for any of you to also come in and ask a question. I'm going to facilitate a couple of more, and then we'll have some, Q&A time. What is possible for a peer fellow once they've completed this phase of it, this year of the fellow?
I think we're hoping that anything will be possible. We're hoping that this will be a really well-rounded experience so that when you leave, you'll have some more technical expertise, you'll know a lot more about business. So we kind of envision one kind of pathway could be maybe you join a startup team. Maybe if you're not someone that has your own idea, maybe you go join a founding team. Another maybe opportunity that could be there is through Build Back Better. There's another program, the Robotics Factory, that is an accelerator, an incubator for robotics companies. So we see that there might be an opportunity there. We hope that maybe some of the fellows would then go on to do that program. We think could be a really good opportunity. But I mean, we think that when you leave, you'll really be well-rounded and ready to kind of take on your next challenge, whatever you think that may be. But we think that there's a lot of, possible pathways after this.
Thank you, Erin. Anyone else want to chime in on that? I think she summarized that so well.
And I also want to add, I think we envision this as like not necessarily like you end the fellowship and then you're like, okay, goodbye, we're done with you. I think we want to really create a community of our past fellows, still have you kind of involved in the fellowship and still have opportunities for some of those like mentoring and other things that you may need even after the program's over.
Thanks for adding that, Erin, because we are doing this for 4 years, and each year we're hoping to take a full cohort of fellows in, and then we're hoping that you all are able to establish relationships and, work within the fellow and outside of it. And also there are five projects, right, in the BBB. So we're looking to, be well connected throughout all of them, all those that are applicable. To help support the endeavors that the fellows have. All right. So those who are in attendance, are there some other questions you have? They can be very specific, they could be general, it could be about the weather. We would love to hear anything that you would like to share or offer or ask. This is really a time to provide information, and we want to share the information that is needed and wanted. So please feel free to drop in the chat or go ahead and unmute and share. And for those of you who just came on, welcome. And if you want to introduce yourself, you're more than welcome to do that. We had a little time to do that as well. We are being recorded, and that's for informational purposes again. So those who didn't see it, or those who are, if you decide to share this this with someone else, you can send them to our link and they can listen to this to get more information. There is a website also, and we will drop the website in the chat so you can go there. Sure. Am I saying that right, Allie? Allie's asking if she can set up with a representative one-on-one. And I know Corey's been doing some one-on-one.
Yes, I will drop my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out directly.
Thank you. And are there mentoring opportunities for those of us who have worked in startups and family-owned businesses? I think that's a good
Absolutely. Feel free to reach out as well. Would love to chat with you and see what we can work out that works for your time and the fellows as well.
And there are a lot of connections, especially like Innovate. I mean, Innovate brought all of us together as partners, and they know so many others in the ecosystem to support with mentoring and startups. So thank you for that, Monica. Anyone else have any questions? Good questions. What are the prerequisites to improve the odds of success before and during the fellowship? Thank you, Chaitanya.
I don't know if we have any concrete prerequisites. I mean, for us, we're excited to meet people where they're at in their entrepreneurial journey. We are taking 7 fellows a year. And so, if you apply this year and maybe it's not a great fit, we want people to come back. We also want to make sure that you are in the network. So as Aaron said, we don't want to, if we meet you and perhaps this year isn't the best fit for you, we're still your friends. We're not abandoning you. We want to make sure that we can connect you to the other resources that all of our organizations have access to. And so in terms of concrete prerequisites, really, there's not much. We just really want to get to know you and what your passions are, and kind of explore a little bit more what you hope your future would be in this space.
There's that saying, if what you put into something is what you get out of it. And I think that's something that we've kind of created space to do. And so there are so many opportunities on the campus at CMU and engaging with the classes and with the robotics department, and allowing Corey to support that. And then we want to provide the space to let you work if you're building something, or if you need to pitch. Like, we have all these opportunities, and so that's where, like, just, it's not a prerequisite, it's just you letting us know what your needs are, and we will try to match them so that you can be ensured of the success that you're looking for. That's really what we want to do. That's why we're keeping the group small. Did that answer your question? Was that helpful, Tanya?
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for
I
asking.
also have a follow-up on the similar lines. Trying to understand, is there a website where there's an alumni relationship already going on with the past fellows, where I can see and understand their journey before and after this fellowship, and how the fellowship helped them, maybe testimonials or things like that?
Well, the beautiful thing is that this would be the inaugural group. So
I was going to say, we would hope for your testimonials after this is being completed, but this will be the first time this program, we're creating it from scratch. This will be our first launch. And so this first cohort will be the very first peer fellows in our program. And as we said, there'll be 4 years of this program. So again, if this isn't a fit for you this year, we have opportunities and the following years for you to join us and write your own testimonial.
And we will create space to have engagement between each class of fellows. And that is actually, I think, a good idea. We have a website, and we're currently creating a newer website. And that's something that we can actually, have as a page on there, like actual testimonials and a support, page from the peers who've gone through the program. We will have opportunities for engagement. So when we say some of those after-hour events, or some more lunch and learns, bringing in, you all might request, like, hey, we really do want to pitch our businesses. Who should we talk to? Let's bring in a group of venture capitalists. As Allison was saying, we'll have some dinners where it'll just be, an intimate setting with you and the peers. So we do want to create space where you all can spend time together supporting one another. That was a great follow-up question. We have a few more minutes. Any, 2 or 3 more questions anyone has, you can ask them, or we can, drop them in the chat. I will share that Corey is like your best resource for getting information right now. The application is online. If you go to is it peerfellowship.com, you'll see, what we have as our temporary landing page, but you can click on there to get to the application. You can share that with others. Corey's email is in the chat, so you're more than welcome to reach out to her. You can reach out to any of us, but I did just want to share, since she is, based at CMU specific for this program, she can really answer questions around coursework. I mean, we've had so many questions: visas, coursework, IDs, financial, support, how that will happen. Like, all those details are ironed out, and we are currently reviewing applications. We are currently interviewing people, and also we've had, one acceptance. And the date. When is the first day of school, Corey?
The first day of school, I believe, I have to look at my calendar here, is the 28th. But we will start the week of the 21st with some, I'm forgetting, orientation type events. Sorry, that word was escaping me. But so we will start the week of the 21st with this program.
So we're looking to, try to really bring people in for sure for this cohort. And it's a rolling application, so there's no big deadline, but August 13th is one of the days we're looking to try to confirm as many that we've given time and space to talk to and look at their applications and vet through. But we will take applicants up until the 27th, honestly, and then also we'll go ahead and begin our search and preparation for those peer fellows that'll be coming in for the 24-25, because we do go on an academic year. I just want to thank you all for being here. Are there any other questions? And if not, I'll leave it open for questions. Please take the website down. I'm April Jackson with InnovatePGH. And again, I want to tell you that we are so thankful, and we're really looking to do something innovative, something different, and something beyond what we've done before. So thank you for joining us. And we hope all of you who are here apply, or definitely follow up with us so that we can continue to give you information. Please keep in touch with us, even if you're not applying. There's so many opportunities in this whole space. Thank you so much for spending your lunchtime, if it is your lunchtime, with us. We don't take it for granted that you could have been doing anything and that you decided to come here. Lee from the Equity Impact Center dropped in her email address in the chat. And for the WIT team, it's Allison at witpgh.org and April at witpgh.org. Thank you all. Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to seeing you all.